welcome to Titanium Talas Tarot. And today I will be doing a video on how to strengthen your intuition. Okay, so this is gonna be for anybody who watches this at any time. Of course, this is what I say all the time. All right, and if you feel so inclined, welcome. You are part of the group. There is no separation. We're all one. All right, now. So today, like I said, I'm going to talk about how to strengthen your intuition, right? And last week, I talked a little bit more about um, being attentive to the different things that you feel inside of yourself, not just the things that you notice outside of yourself, but things that you notice inside of yourself, right? Now, this week, I'm going to talk about use what I said last week, which is all the clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairgustation, or clairgustance, and clairliance, okay? All of those, you notice something outside of you, like from your external world, but the reaction you get inside of you will tell you if it's something that you should pay attention to or not. For example, if it's something that you see every single day and then on this day, for some reason you're like, no, I'm going to check that out. I'm going to notice something. I noticed this. It's been, you know what? This is trying to get used to this. When you tell yourself, you know what, I think I'm gonna go look into this because for some reason my intuition today is telling me to look into it, right? Or if it's something that you've seen quite often and your intuition's like, check that out, check it out, look more deeper into it. And on this day, you're like, okay, I'll play, all right, I'll listen to my intuition, I'll go check what this means. We'll see, right? That is another sign. For example, um, let's just say, I'm going to take an example from my own life, all right? So one day, we were coming down the highway, and and I noticed a family of deer, or were they does? Because they didn't have any antlers. I don't know the exact wording for this, but I noticed does, okay, on the side of the highway, which generally there aren't. You're not used to seeing does in like a inhabited area all in a bunch like that. So what I did was like, this is odd. That was a very nice sighting. I'm so happy I noticed that. So when I got home, or actually even in the car, I checked the significance of seeing that specific animal. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because I saw this meme the other day. Now, I know that there's a glare, and so you might have a little difficulty seeing it. There are two birds, right? One says, "Oh, look, I see a human." The other one says, "Wait, what does seeing a human mean? What is the shamanic meaning of it?" And I found that hilarious because, when I do it, I'm like, "Ooh, I saw this. What does it mean?" Sometimes making fun at yourself is good. So I just found that cute. As in to say, when you see when you see something that you don't usually see, you can go check it out. Now, I know that we have overpopulated the planet, so I think that it is quite more like accustomed for animals to see us, but the other way around is quite singular, you can say. Like, for example, on sometimes, all right, because I live in a wooded area, so there was a deer that was walking around the property, like around this area, around my house, and so that was nice. And or there might be a beaver on the side of on the lake, or you might have a sighting of a fox. Sometimes I do see that. The other day, I had like this intuitive nudge to go outside. I had no idea why. I had other things to do, but I was like, okay. So I went outside for a walk, and on my way to the lake, I spotted an adolescent fox, and it was like, "What's she doing here?" It was probably the same exact thing as this. What does seeing a human say? You know, I'm seeing a human. What does this mean? She's following me. Why? Why is this happening? you know, so just just be cognizant. And another suggestion, I look at this quite often when I notice this, certain times, okay, so like certain like numbers, you'll see a 1 or you see a 2 or you see a 22 or you'll see a 55 or you see a specific number that to you has no significant meaning, but in reality it has a certain meaning. So if you like, I know that if you see continuously see the same like the same numbers again and again, that might be a sign that the your angels and guides are telling you something. For example, you see this this kind of reflection, this bar of light in a sense. Sometimes it's on a slant, sometimes it's like this, other times it's somewhere else. But I generally see a bar of light in my room. Sometimes it tends to happen while I'm filming as well. Other times not so much. Lately, more often than not, I have seen that bar. It might have been more on a slant, but I see I see light. It's reflections of light. Now that could mean to me that means that I am being protected, that there's an angelic power around me, or that there is someone protecting me, right? So, I mean, you can check things out if there's like a significant something's happening quite often and you don't really understand why don't you check it out? Might have a meaning that you never thought of beforehand, and it would be interesting to know. Okay, so all this to say that things that you notice outside of yourself, okay, are maybe your internal signs that there is something that your angels and guides are trying to tell you and that you should pay attention to. So yes, it is very important to be cognizant of what you are feeling from the inside, which you will notice by how you're feeling, or uh, like like when there is a thing called muscle testing, when you ask yourself a question and then you notice what type of response your body gives you. A certain muscle will twitch, or you will feel a certain heaviness on a certain part of your body or something. That is a muscle. What's it called? That's that's a way for your body to respond to your question. So if you are attentive to these things, well, you'll get the answer you're looking for. Yes. So these kinds of things might seem very little and might seem quite unimportant, but in all fairness, they're actually very important, because the energetic world, your angels, your guides, all these things are trying to constantly communicate with you. Now, it might not be something external to you. It might just be yourself trying to tell you something. Okay. And in that case, it is also important for you to keep noticing these things. Or if there's a certain feeling that you're feeling all the time, that's a sign. Or if there's a certain discomfort you feel around a certain topic or a certain person or a certain activity, that's a sign. Sometimes it's a sign that you are just, it's a sign of your current state. It's not a sign of, like, it's not a definitive sign. It's just a sign of your current state. So in those cases, what you can do is like refocus your attention on something else, or refocus your attention on that one thing. So maybe you are bringing a whole new, how should I say it, like your interpretation of it is completely falsifying your analysis of it or something. Sometimes, as much as how you feel is important, it is also more important for you to be a master of yourself. Being able, okay, I should reiterate that and say you should be able to listen and recognize when you are in a certain mood and you are feeling a certain way, or you are having a certain, you are noticing certain things, but you are, I when I do this, I notice things within myself. And yet then I'm like, okay, I feel the fear, but I'm going to do it anyway. Or um, I feel the discomfort, but I'm going to do it anyway. You see, that is when actual change happens. I remember right after my accident, okay, I was very, like, socially awkward. You can say that in a way. And so the best way to actually cure like social awkwardness is to throw yourself in situations, in social situations where yes, you're gonna make a fool out of yourself, and yes, people are gonna laugh at you, and yes, you're gonna feel bad, and yes, all of the above. But the the habit of doing it is what is going to get you out of your bubble, and it is what is going to get you more comfortable in those situations. And right after my accident, like 2 3 years after, that's exactly what I did to be able to get back in the social circles. I have always had trouble mingling with other people. Okay, it's just my thing. I just never really understood how to do it. But what I did was I made myself interact with people, go to events, talk to people, you know, in in all those very uncomfortable and awkward situations. Why? To make myself grow. Okay, I've heard this one example, okay? Lobsters have exoskeletons, which means that the bone that protects them is outside of their body. Okay, it's around their actual body. They've got a shell, right? That we crack to eat them. So that's their main way of protecting themselves. And when a exoskeleton, when their shell becomes too small for them, they go underneath a rock to shed their old exoskeleton to regrow a new one, and that way be able to feel more comfortable. You know, we don't shed our skin. Well, we kind of do, but what I mean to say, we don't like go under a rock and like take off our skin and have it grow larger or regrow our skin. What we do is that our skin regenerates itself underneath, and what we are seeing here is actually dead skin cells. Yep. And have you ever noticed that when we don't like moisturize, or when we don't like scrub enough, we get like dandruff? Well, dandruff is on your head, but like dandruff is everywhere. You get You have skin all over your body, right? Except on your eyelid, I except on your eyes and in your mouth. Well, the inside is skin, but I digress. Okay, so we always, our skin is constantly regenerating itself, constantly regenerating itself. And skin is not the only thing, all right? We shed a ton of hair, a ton. I mean, so where was I with this? What I'm trying to say is that we shed the old and we grow the new, and all this is intertwined because I lost my train of thought. So we started with recognizing signs that you see, but that you're that you notice from outside of yourself, which are signs that your angels and guides send you. Okay. And yes, I can't remember what the link was between exoskeleton and whatnot, but it's not important. What is important is that you start noticing what you're internally, you're saying, oh, look at that, that's important, or look at this, that's important, as not as much as the signs that your body gives you per se, but the external signs are as important because they are the way your angels and guides communicate with you. Now, so that is all that I have for you guys this week. If you like this and if you would like me to talk to you guys about how to better your intuition, please contact me at the email in the box below and it'll be my pleasure to help. In that same box, you'll find a little description in this video and my price. Alright, now, like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click on the notification bell to be notified when I post new stuff, as well as leaving me a comment because I adore comments. I read them all. I might not answer all of them, but I absolutely read them all. Okay? And with that being said, I would like to remind you all, okay, that we all have our intuition. And yes, these videos are to help you strengthen your intuition, okay? But strengthen your intuition, but first and foremost, you have to do the exercise. You have to want to strengthen your intuition for you to feel like your intuition is getting stronger. Just your attention to it will actually help you to strengthen your intuition. Okay? Yeah. So, with that being said, my gorgeous viewers, I wish you guys all a very good week and I will see you next time, okay? Bye.